Hey guys, it is Monday, July 10th, and I am coming to you from the map room, aka our office, and I'm sitting on the floor because, well, I'll explain that in a minute, but I wanted to just give you first an update on where I'm at with Dutch Beauty. So I've been working along on it. Let me take my chart off of here. Been working along on it, and I am, see, sometimes that just looks really purple, but it's not purple. Anyway, I've been working along on it, and I got the lion finished that I was working on. I got the border done. I really wish that this color was showing it better. Let me see if I get closer. Nope, that's a little worse even. So I finished the lion. This is the border for all of the page that I'm on, which is page U, for those of you playing along. And then I started the peacock. So it's harder to see back there because it's such a small little piece, or little motifs, but the color gets a little more accurate. Anyway, so finished that, working along on the peacock. I'm enjoying working on this. I'm having a little bit of reservation about my color changes that I'm making. When I say I'm having reservation about it, meaning that I'm questioning whether the color choices that I'm making now down here way at the bottom are still gonna make sense and go with everything else. So I'm feeling a need to kind of fall back and regroup a little bit. You may recall that I just like pulled a whole bunch of colors that were in that color palette that I liked, that dark kind of jewel tone, with pops of like this kind of acidy green, things like that. So I pulled just this whole stack of colors that I just liked, and then I was just going to pull from those as I worked through it. But the chart itself only calls for like 12 or 13 threads, DMC threads. And so where I was starting to have a little bit of concern was not only are the color changes that I'm making down here going to make sense with what goes on elsewhere, and I really don't want to have to kind of regroup, you know, and start ripping things out and manipulating and whatever later. But the other thing is that because it's such a limited color palette, I don't want to, I'm still kind of in work mode today, so I'm going to say over solution because I'm in work mode. I don't want to overcomplicate my color palette with too much going on. So I definitely still am loving and wanting that kind of dark jewel tone color palette, but I'm wondering if I need to get a little tighter with my choices, and limit them a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the called for colors and see if I can limit my color choices a little bit. And I think that that will help me feel like I have a little more direction and I'm not just kind of winging it. There's something to be said for winging it, for sure, but I just want to make sure that it all flows and makes sense together. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my plan, is to work on that a little. See, my light's up above me, which is what's kind of weird, but anyway. So that's my plan, is I'm going to rethink a little bit. And Dark 13 is coming up on Thursday. So I need to think about that and decide what I'm going to work on for Dark 13. And I already showed you my finished Coffee Quaker. So there's that. So obviously I haven't been working on anything else other than those two things. So I thought what I would do is, I know several folks have done kind of a WIP parade video and shown you, you know, all of their WIPs. This is why I'm sitting on the floor. So I thought that some of them, obviously you've seen, their year of WIPs. I worked on them in Stitch Mania. You're familiar with them. But there's a whole lot that you have not seen. So I thought it might be fun to just kind of go through those and see if, you know, see if that's fun for everybody. I have Tut here on the floor keeping me company, aka kicking me in the back while I talk. So, okay. So, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my WIP organization too while I'm at it. So I have a closet where I keep all of my WIPs in. I already showed you kind of my bookcase where I keep all of my charts and threads and all that good stuff. So inside the closet in this room is where I keep all of my WIPs and all that good stuff. So I have two big Rubbermaid containers, whatever size that is. Does it tell me? 56 quart capacity. Whatever that equates out to. Anyway, so I have two of those. And inside of those are mostly all of my WIPs. And then on top, I have those stacked on top of each other. And then on top of that, I have this basket. And this primarily holds kind of what I'm working on, like actively, like what I actively have out. And so for Stitch Mania, one of the things that really worked for me is that having planned out what I was going to work on each week, I would go and I would pull the projects for that week and put them in my basket so that I had them. I could just pull from that each night when I sat down. So I already knew what I was going to work on. It was easily accessible and I wasn't having to dig for stuff. So right now, obviously Dutch Beauty is hanging out in the basket. And then the other stuff that I have in the basket are my Marywind Farm hornbook, which you're familiar with. And I don't even know what's in some of this stuff. So here's my macaron project bag. Inside is pink. And so inside this, and here's the thing that you're going to learn, is that I have a tendency to put multiple WIPs in these bags. So in here is my primitive Wizard of Oz piece. And so I had left this out because I think that I could finish this up pretty quickly. and have that done. So I kind of left it out so that I could pull it quickly and work on it. And then in my black and white fashion bag, I have two pieces in here. So I have my Cuisine d'été, just this one. And this is another one that I thought I could finish it up relatively quickly once I kind of focused on it. So I left it out so that I could do that. And then the other piece that's in here is my Henry VIII, my 6 Wives of Henry VIII. And for whatever unknown reason, I just have this rolled up. So, yeah, I don't know. I never do this with projects, so I don't know what my problem is. But anyway, there's my 6 Wives of Henry VIII. I'm working on Anne Boleyn. So, I have these 2 projects in here, and now it won't re-roll. And so I've got that kind of, you know, easy access so that I can work on my Cuisine d'été and maybe finish that up. And then I have my Lady Jeanette bag, which is where my Halloween neighborhood lives. And so it is in here. And I may get this out and work on it on Thursday. So there's that piece. See the whole thing together. And I've got 2 different blocks that I'm currently working on. So I'm working on this cemetery block from Village of Hawk Run Hollow, and then I'm also working on this cemetery block from Halloween Rules. So I may get that out and work on it on Thursday. We'll see what I'm feeling like. But since this is kind of my dark 13 stitching, I just keep it right here in this bucket. And then this is my Raven bag. And in it, this is like my dark October bag. So there's like 45 projects in here. So let's see what's in here. My Salem Remembered piece is in here, which I have not worked on since I was trying to finish up Coffee Quaker, but I want to get moving back on this again before the 19th. And so that's in here. And that's this one, Salem Remembered by the Primitive Needle. And then I also have the Nora Corbett Halloween Fairy that I started during Dark October. I have that tiny little bit done of her dress. And this is on Phantom. I think it's 32 count Phantom. That's, I just have my black and white. It's that one. It says Trick or Treat. And I have my Blacked Sky in here. That's where I'm at on that one. So I finished up that first block and I was working on the border up at the top. And then what else is in here? Oh, my Cast Your Spells that I was just recently working on. or casting a spell, which is that one, the Blackbird Designs piece. With my new color palette, which I'm so much happier with. So that's in here too. So like if I was to tell you, oh, I only have like 10 project bags, which is not the case, but if I was to tell you that, you should know that I keep like 12 projects in every project bag. Okay, and then the last one that's in my basket is my architecture bag. And in here, and here's the, what's the inside of it? It's that pretty floral with that dark charcoal background. Inside this one is my Catherine Theron Williamsburg Remembered book. Needle book, needle thing. This. That one. That I started. That was my start on January 1st. And I just have not been in the mood to work on that lately. And I think it's because of this dang fabric. I hate this. And I dearly, dearly love Catherine Theron and her gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. But oh my God, I hate working on that witchelt linen. Okay, so that's everything that's in my close to the top basket. Active WIP kind of basket. So that's everything that's in there. And my DMC shopping checklist. So that's that. So, and you may be asking yourself, how the heck does she know what's where? Spreadsheet. So in my spreadsheet, I have a tab where I have all of my projects listed, and then I have listed in there what project bag it's in, or like if it's in my one of my buckets or whatever, so that if I need to get into it, I can quickly and figure out where it is. So, but I like Emily's idea of putting the little tags on there, which is great if you have a zipper bag, but as you can see, most of mine are not zipper bags. Excuse me, but I could certainly safety pin a little tag on there easily enough, but my spreadsheet seems to work fine. So then this is box number 1. So this will be a surprise for me too. This is my Tula Pink Parisville topiary bag, and on the inside, more Tula Pink Parisville. And so this is a surprise. Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. And I'm working on block 2. And I started this like a million years ago. I started this as a stitch along in the Carriage House Samplings Yahoo group, if that tells you anything. It's still not done. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful autumn gold lakeside linen. That is what's called for. So that's in here, and I'm doing it with the MPIs. I haven't worked on that in a long time. So I think this is actually the bottom bucket, not the one on the top. I have some crazy so I have this German sampler that that the chart for it was literally like a big like poster that was all folded up, and on one side of it had this beautiful full color photo of the antique sampler, and then on the other side was the chart itself. And so I have these like massive legal size copies of this thing for someday when I decide that I need to work on that or start that. But I didn't have anywhere to store this, so it's in here. Okay, Christmas bag. And you will, like, I have a ton of ornaments and stuff that's like kitted up. Like, you know, I stitched that Yuletide one last year and then ended up not going to the guild party. What else is in here? I have stuff that's kind of kitted up and ready to go. Oh, here's my, so this is, surely I have the chart in here. Anyway, I think it's in here someplace. This is Jenny Bean's Christmas that I absolutely love, and I started this like, I don't know, 4 Thanksgivings ago, I'm not even sure. But it was like a bad Thanksgiving. But I remember starting this because I was so in need of something happy. So there's that. I'm stitching these birds of a feather Santas. I have the green Santa started. He's so cute. Yeah, so I have fabric for all 4 of them. So I work on that every now and again. So yeah, I have like a bunch of kind of random ornament things in here that I have kitted up that, you know, a lot of these are where I stitched up an ornament for one of the guild exchanges and I still want to stitch myself one, and so I left everything kind of kitted up and ready to go. So I've got a whole butt ton of that in there. Another Christmas bag. And in this one is my Christmas celebration sampler, frosted pumpkin stitchery. And I love this fabric, the polka dot fabric. I just thought it was so cute, but my border isn't showing up really well. So I kind of tossed it aside until I can figure out what I'm going to do with that. A recurring theme. Peace on Earth, Blackbird Designs. started many moons ago. And this Arner linen that it called for. A million years ago, I used to be on the auto ship for all of the Blackbird loose feathers designs, and I would get the called for fabric and the called for threads and the chart. And so I have a ton of these that are like all kitted up and ready to go. Very few actually started. So that's in there. This is a bag that my friend Ava made for me and gave me for my birthday. It's a little tote. And so in this, is all of this fabric, which is Heavenly Creations, 36 count sapphire linen. This is for let's discuss. This is just one piece. This is for the Marbeck Nativity, that fireplace screen thing. So this is the center panel. This is how much I have done. Oh wait, did you miss it? Did you miss it? You know what that is? That's a sheep. Oh, you can't tell? Because it just looks like a white blob on a blue piece of fabric. Yeah. Anyway, and so that's the center panel, and then there's 4 more panels, which is what all this mess is. So yeah, anybody that thought that Michelle is crazy taking on that Dutch beauty, you don't know the half of it. So someday, maybe I will have that giant nativity done. Another cute bag. And this is my His Eyes on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery, with this beautiful piece of fabric that Sylvia dyed for me. And there's my start. And this is like 45 count, 48 count, something. It's itty bitty. But I just love it. I love it so much. And I should really get it out and work on it because I love it so much. But yeah. Ridiculous. Uninspiring project bag. So this has, so each year the guild has a ornament that usually a member designs. And so this is like all of the kitted up ornaments that I've never stitched. So they're all in here with the intention that I could just pick that up and stitch to my heart's content on ornaments. this is my Bavarian bag. This was bought in a little shop in Bavaria, and it has this beautiful kind of horn button. And in here is, this is my little piece, the Lady Liberty sampler that I started on election night when I was having panic attacks. Not because of who was winning or losing, but because there was just so much energy moving around that day. And so there's my little bitty start. My little eagle, and a little flag. So this is what's great about stitching, is that when you're having one of those moments, you can pick up your stitching and you can kind of lose yourself in that. Okay. Also in here is, so when I went to the attic several years ago and went for summer school, one of the pieces was from Scarlet House, and I was hoping that I had a picture of the piece in here, but I don't for some odd reason. But it's called the Little Red Chair Sampler. I think she's released this since then. But there's my little start on it. And this is on, I'm pretty sure this is on 45 count. And random weird threads because it's not serged. And this is with Tudor silks. And I love this. Love, love, love it. You know, but I set it down and haven't gone back to it. Probably because it's in this bag and I keep forgetting about it. And then I also have in here from when Paulette from Plum Street Samplers came and taught a workshop at our guild, and this is the piece that she designed specifically for us, which she has since released. So I've got this in here. I've not started on the actual sampler yet, but I am happy to see that my fabric for it is actually in here, because I was starting to be concerned that the piece of fabric that I snagged to use for Salem Remembered was for that piece. But obviously it's not, so I'm good. And then, oh, and the reason that I have all of that in my red bag is because the theme for summer school at the attic was 6 shades of red. So Little Red Chair Sampler is in there, but then also my my Crown Bird Sampler, which has a bunch of red in it. So I don't know. Here's my Sugar Skull bag. I think this also has some Dark October pieces in it. It does. It has my little mini jeweled scarabs piece in here, which is what I actually started on Halloween night. Haven't touched it since then. Let's see if I have, here's the photo of it. And what else is in here? My Halloween garden. I think that's what this is called. Primitive needle. That was a JTT before it was a WIP. And then I also have in here Sampler Sisters. Oh, and there's my I've been looking for this, and here it is. I was very concerned that I had misplaced it. This is my Sampler Sisters piece, also primitive needle. And there's my start on that. And so I started down here at the bottom because I was having some friends stitch their initials on here, and then I did go ahead and I put an L there for Lisa. So yeah, so that's what's in that bag. That'll come back out in for Dark October, I'm sure. Chatelaine. This is a horrible picture, but you get the idea. This is Pearl Lights. And when Martina released this and showed it on black fabric, yeah, I had to do that. So there's my start. Not much, but here's a tip for anybody who is just starting on a chatelaine, has never worked on one before. Here's a tip. If you're working on one of the mandalas, you know, which are kind of all the same on all four sides, mark your top. On my Mystery 9, I just put a little T up at the top with some thread. I just did a little basting stitch to mark the top. And here's why. Because when you take it off your Q-snaps and you put it in a bag for years and forget about it and don't work on it, then when you come back to it, you don't know which way is the top. Now obviously I can tell the top from the side because of the way that my stitches go, but I can't tell top from bottom. So yeah, so mark your top. And I love this piece, and I would really like to stitch on this because it has all of these gorgeous, gorgeous pearls that go on it. All of these beautiful Baroque pearls go on this, along with the normal, you know, dellacroix and what have you. Must stitch faster. Okay, another Parisville Tula Pink bag. I'm gonna have to go faster. This has Victorine Dellacroix, and I am so in love with this sampler. I've been in love with it from the moment I laid eyes on it. And my friend Susan has stitched this, and every time I go over to her house, I contemplate ways of getting her framed piece in my bag and getting it home because she's a stunner. And so this was, it's from the assembler, and it came as a kit with the silks. I think you have an option of doing the silks or the DMC, and they come on this thread card with none of them marked. So I had to go through and, I mean, they're in order on the thread card, kind of, but I was actually missing a thread. So, and I mean, look at those pretty, pretty colors. They're just stunning. So anyway, but she was very sweet and she sent me the thread that I was missing. So I have a teeny tiny start on this. But I am just in love with this like pistachio green color in that border and that lacy little white basket. I'm just in love with it. So I think my cat's snoring. So yeah, that's another one that I just really want to stitch. Okay, here's my little Paris map bag. No idea what's in here. So a million years ago, Blackbird Designs did this stitch along freebie, her sampler, and I started that and then quickly lost interest. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to that or not. And then the other thing that's in here is my Snooty Parrot sampler, which I am stitching on the 5260 count linen from the attic, and with Tudor silks. So there is my piece so far. So I want you to take a good look at this and how teeny tiny that is. It's itty bitty. I mean, that needle minder is like the size of a dime. It's actually a little smaller than a dime. So, yeah. Teeny tiny. And I love this, and I want to work on it. See, and this is why I keep telling myself no new starts, because I have all of this stuff started that I'm in love with, that I want to stitch on and finish, and I can't get to it because I have too many other things. Okay, that's all that's in that bucket. So let me just quickly put all of these back in here. And this crazy, this freaking nativity chart, it's like, this is the sheep. Anyway, it's nuts. Okay. The only thing that is not in the buckets is, this is Mystery 9, which I have on my scroll rod, so it's in a pillowcase. And I'm just not even going to deal with that. So bucket number 2 which probably should have been bucket number 1. I have my Mermaid Treasure Box in here. I have my little Tula Pink bag, and this typically also has ornaments and stuff in it that I'm stitching on. Yep, here's a little over one winter acorn ornament that I'm stitching. And I was using this pattern to do an ornament. So yeah, this is more ornament stuff. Really working hard at those ornaments. Tula Pink, cinnamon trees, and in here is my Village of Hawk Run Hollow. Block 1, block 12, block 1, block 12, because I'm crazy. And yes, Emily, we need to work on this. We need to pick a day, pick a month, work on that. Here is my bay sampler. Ta-da. And you've seen all of these recently, or at least most of these recently. So I'm not going to spend too much time on them. My Moulin Rouge that needs to be serged badly. There's my little start on this ginormous piece of fabric. Love that. Want to stitch on that some more. Oh, this is my Mermaid Treasure Box bag. Mermaids of the Deep Blue. With my weird fold marks and all. Francis Eden. There's my snake and my false start. I'm going to stitch on that some more. Mystery 9 we talked about. It's in here. My Colonial Garden that I only managed to do one day on because it was making me crazy. That's in here. Somebody actually posted up over the weekend their finished Colonial Garden on the black fabric, and it was beautiful, and I was like, oh, I don't want to finish mine. I just don't want to stitch it. Here's my Liberty bag that has Anniversaries of the Heart. Da-da, da-da-da-da. So that needs some help before I work on it some more. That green's coming out. And then the last, nope, one more thing after this. So, oh, this is another Tula Pink Parisville. It's a laminate, like the cinnamon trees. This is my Justine. Love it. Love it, love it. And I know that this chart is impossible to find. At the time that I bought mine, it was impossible to find. And then the shop that was reprinting them, I had a big problem with. So I'm not even going to tell you where I got it from because, yeah, it required me to open a case. PayPal. Okay. So the last thing that I have in here, and I don't know if I've ever shown this to you. So I started this this was supposed to be for our 2nd year anniversary, which I think is the cotton anniversary. We've now been married 11 years. This is a freebie design. I don't know if it's still available. If you're interested, shoot me a note and I can look and see if I can find it. If it's still available out online somewhere. I don't know if it is or not because I haven't gone looking. This is called Tesori d'Italia, which means Treasures of Italy. And so Eric and I went to Rome for our honeymoon, and his family is, he's part Italian descent. So I was stitching this for him. It's ginormous. So it is broken up to, it has each of the different areas of Italy. Like this is Venice. And it has different things that are representative of that area in it, like the treasures of Italy, literally. This is Rome, Lazio. And then in the center of it, so like here is a big map of Italy. And so there's like, 8 blocks here, and then there's, 2 blocks, the thing of Italy in the middle, and then I think there's 2 more rows of 4 blocks. So it's, I'm not kidding when I say it's huge. And I think I'm doing it on, I think it's 32 count, because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to make sure that the detail of all of the pieces really showed up. And so I'm copying another stitcher that was stitching this at the time that I started it, and I couldn't even tell you who that was. But she was doing hers mostly in red, but with the names of the places in green. And then she was doing these little bits of gold, metallic, which I don't think you can even see on here. So like I outlined some of these hearts in gold, metallic. I outlined this anchor on Lazio. I did the little loop strings. So I'm just doing little touches of gold. And then the map, like around the outline of Italy, it has some little, you know, like waves for the ocean. And so I have a blue picked out that I'm going to do the little waves in, but the rest of it's all going to be primarily red with just the touches of green and gold, like the Italian flag. So one day I will finish this. And part of the reason that it takes me so long to get anywhere on this is because it is unwieldy to work on this big piece of fabric. So maybe Dutch Beauty will give me some experience on how to best manage that. And then I can get back to this. So that's everything that's in this bag, in this bucket. That's not actually all of my WIPs. So you will notice that one of the things that is not in here, that is clearly absent, is that Scottish sampler that I had been talking about. And several people have said, you know, hey, I want to see your Scottish sampler. I thought it was in here, but it's not. So if this WIP parade was at all interesting to you and you would like to see the rest of the stuff, which is in a even further back bucket in the closet, I will get that out and show it to you if you guys are interested. So anyway, so that's really all that I have. I just thought, you know, maybe you would be interested in seeing that, since several people have been doing their kind of WIP parade videos. And it was fun to look at some of these pieces and see, you know, what all's in here, and reminding myself that I should really work on some of these because they're beautiful and lovely, and it would sure be nice to have them finished at some point. And really with the Christmas ornaments. Craziness. Just crazy. So that's everything. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my WIPs. If you have questions about anything, I know I didn't spend a whole lot of time, and like I said, most of it are pieces that you've recently seen because of Stitch Mania. So but if you have questions on anything, feel free to leave a comment. You are always welcome to send me a message on Instagram. You are welcome to send me a message through my blog or through my website. There's a contact form on both. So you're more than welcome to do that. Leave me a comment on YouTube, whichever. Whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. I'm happy to answer questions. And yeah, let me know if you're interested in seeing the rest of the WIPs, because I can certainly dig that bucket out. And I did want to show you the Scottish sampler since we had talked about it, and since several people said they wanted to see it. So I will, at the very least, dig that out so you can see it. So, hope that was interesting. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.